Jim Carrey was notably absent from this year's Oscars, sparking widespread curiosity about the reason behind it. Previously, a man named Alexis Stone claimed he acted as a body double for Jim at the César Awards in France. But this only raises the bigger question: what actually happened to the real Jim Carrey? The situation appears to be far more concerning than most realize. It's been a long time since we've heard from him, and now Katt Williams is speaking out, shedding light on what might be occurring. According to him, there are darker forces in Hollywood than we ever imagined.
Are you aware of everything? And the reason why I ask you that is, even though if you know how to appear and disappear, right?
Right.
It seemed like you still hear things and see things, just from the conversation that we had before we sat down.
That's part of the disappearance. Like I'm saying, I'm not disappearing to twiddle my thumbs. I'm disappearing to do the behind the scenes work, the inner work, the shadow work necessary to pull off what it is I'm trying to pull off against, at times, supernatural competition.
Katt has long spoken about the culture of oppression and enforced silence in Hollywood. He has often noted that those who challenge the system either vanish from the industry or are completely ignored. Jim Carrey is one such individual. Known for his honesty, he has openly addressed topics like the influence of secretive groups and the lack of authenticity in Hollywood. Unfortunately, speaking out hasn't come without consequences. Carrey faced public humiliation, including being removed from award events in 2019.
Jim Carrey is nominated for his show Kidding.
Despite the awkward moments, Jim handled these situations gracefully. Even if it seemed unusual to the audience, he treated them as part of the performance. However, incidents like these have fueled the strange stories circulating today. Carrey first made headlines years earlier at the 2016 Golden Globes, delivering one of the night's most unconventional speeches. Instead of standard humor, he questioned the entire premise of awards.
Thank you. I am two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey. You know, when I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey going to get some well-needed shut-eye.
The audience laughed, including Denzel Washington, who couldn't hide his smile. Beneath the humor, Carrey was making a deeper point. He highlighted that while awards feel monumental inside Hollywood, in the grand scheme of the universe, they are insignificant. Essentially, he was challenging the importance of the system and the culture of elevating certain individuals. Messages like these aren't always welcomed in Hollywood. This aligns with what Katt Williams has suggested: when someone starts questioning the system too openly, they often vanish. After reaching the peak of Hollywood, Carrey began speaking candidly about fame and its emptiness. He shared in interviews that identity could be an illusion, and that the persona seen on screen is just a character. Some fans interpret this as a spiritual awakening, noting his references to spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle and his search for meaning beyond celebrity. Others, however, suspect a more serious issue. Carrey increasingly criticized Hollywood, mocked award shows, rejected idol culture, and labeled the system as meaningless. This ties back to Katt Williams' warnings. He has repeatedly claimed that outspoken individuals in Hollywood face slow marginalization. History has shown this with others, like Corey Feldman, who spent years trying to expose abuse in the industry, only to be silenced and ostracized.
You freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff. I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be.
Nobody talks about it.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them.
For years now, as evidenced on Nightline in 2011, Corey Feldman has been claiming that he and his good friend, the late Corey Haim, were victims of molestation when they were young actors. Last year, he opened up to our Alex Hudgens.
Why did you
Kids
come
are
forward then?
scared. You know, kids don't think I'm gonna go. First of all, for me, the person that was doing it to me the most, you know, well, I mean, I could say that the two people that did it to me were both close friends of mine, or so I thought.
Feldman claims Haim endured more than him. In his book Choreography, he alleges that Haim was raped on the set of the 1986 film Lucas. The following year, 1987, their film The Lost Boys came out.
It was when we were both on the set of Lost Boys that, things were happening to both of us. Not from anyone on the set, might I clear that up, but, outside elements.
How did people not know when these are two, or did they know and they just weren't doing anything about it?
I know he told a lot of people. That's the thing that's so upsetting to me. It's not like it's just me that knows this story.
Other people know.
A lot of people know.
They're still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Back in 2013, on The View, Feldman was insistent that perpetrators are still out there, but says he won't name names due to statute of limitation laws in California. He also has another reason that echoes something we've heard regarding Harvey Weinstein.
From what I've seen, every time somebody tries to bring up a public name and they have a lot of money and power and a publicity machine behind them, the person who does the accusing is the one that ends up looking bad.
Elijah Wood, known for playing Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings, has also hinted at similar experiences. Interestingly, he has struggled to secure major roles since. Why?
In a new interview with the Sunday Times, the former child star alleges that has been a real issue in Hollywood. He tells the publication, quote, "There are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. What bums me about these situations is that the victims can't speak as loudly as the people in power. That's the tragedy of attempting to reveal what is happening to innocent people. They can be squashed, but their lives have been irreparably damaged." The 35-year-old adds, "If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey."
I can get a good career doing this. It's gonna be good.
Wood says he was not a victim of a because his mother Deborah protected him and he avoided those kinds of situations. He goes on to allege that even as an adult in the industry, he has been, quote, "led down dark paths to realize that these things probably are still happening."
All of this suggests a system where the powerful can operate with impunity, silencing anyone who challenges them. Rose McGowan once described Hollywood in shocking terms, calling it a cult rather than just controlling or unfair. According to her, the industry operates by unspoken rules known to everyone. When she entered as a teenager, she quickly realized expectations around appearance, behavior, and speech. Not following these could close doors rapidly. She explained that young actors are subtly educated on these rules by agents, managers, and insiders. For her, meeting appearance standards was crucial to securing roles, and failure to appeal to influential figures could end opportunities entirely.
Everyone passed these rules on to female agents. Were big in my life, and they had definitely a hand in telling me the rules that I had to abide by, such as, you have to have long hair, so the men in Hollywood want to have sex with you. If they don't want to have sex with you, they're not going to cast you.
As more individuals began questioning the system, another name consistently appeared in these conversations: Dave Chappelle. For years, Chappelle has been regarded as one of the boldest voices in comedy. Many fans still recall when he famously walked away from a massive deal with Comedy Central at the height of Chappelle's show. At the time, the network reportedly offered him around $50 million to continue, yet he chose to leave. Katt Williams believes that Dave made this decision to preserve his personal integrity.
One comedian, as we've been sitting here doing this interview, that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million. You said it was more. Tell the story.
That's right.
I will let you tell it.
No, you're
no,
the best.
I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that he lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
That choice cemented Chappelle's status as a legend in the eyes of many. Some suggested he had witnessed something behind the scenes in Hollywood that made him uneasy. Others argue he simply refused to let the industry control him. Notably, he stood firm even when confronting one of Hollywood's alleged gatekeepers, Oprah Winfrey. During a now famous interview, staying true to his convictions.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. There's certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in a trailer. I'm like, man, this must be a wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on and what? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? Oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a step.
Regardless of the reason, his decision fueled suspicions that hidden, powerful forces operate in Hollywood. However, years later, new criticisms emerged. Singer and industry whistleblower Jaguar Wright began voicing concerns about the current state of the system. In several interviews, she argued that even individuals who once challenged Hollywood can eventually be drawn back into it. Wright noted that Chappelle's recent comedy routines appear different from the defiant voice people once admired. She believes Dave may have been compromised, either by choice or by pressure, and that he might now be protecting elite interests, possibly influenced by the large sums of money he receives.
The stuff that Dave Chappelle is doing right now, for me, it's just, what it sounds like to me is that they took the bullet points of everything that they were trying to push during the trial, and they gave it to you to do this beautiful monologue, trying to make it seem like, yeah, because the government is after the black man, whatever. And I've never really spoken out against Dave Chappelle. Like I said, you know, I had a lot of admiration for him when he turned down the $40 million with Comedy Central once upon a time ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, I guess he changed his mind when they made it $60 million in Netflix. And now, Charlamagne is getting $200 million out of Netflix. He's getting more than the rest of these.
No, for real.
And who's Charlamagne? Whitney Williams' sidekick that he allegedly helped stab her in the back. I mean, and he got a whole child case, G. He's got a whole great case. Like, all these people are weird and sick and got a lot of going on. But everybody's getting rewarded. Isn't that lovely? You're that grand. Everybody's getting paid. I'm sure Joe Budden is losing his mind. That $20 million that he got out of Patreon is looking like change compared to what Charlamagne got going on over there.
You know,
I don't know, maybe running around butt naked in the middle of the night, banging on doors. Or, I don't know.
Oh, now you know, episode 2 of that documentary, it was titled "What Goes Down Must Come Up," and they're referencing what Diddy was saying as far as what goes up must come down, and what comes down must go up. And you're speaking of these other individuals, and yes, they have had some dark days. Are they not
dark days?
Can
you call them dark days if you're able to elude them, never fully, thoroughly be investigated for them, never have to go to court, be tried, or go to jail like everybody else has to when they do crazy?
Perhaps most shocking is the alleged presence of multiple secretive cults in Hollywood, reportedly attended by some of the most powerful figures. For instance, Rihanna's former publicist claimed that at certain industry gatherings, attendees were often required to sign non-disclosure agreements and surrender their phones before entering. According to him, this practice ensured that nothing occurring inside could be recorded or leaked. When asked whether such events were merely extreme celebrity parties or something more deliberate, he stated that the atmosphere seemed ritualistic or staged. He cited coordinated lighting, unusual music, and symbolic imagery as evidence, emphasizing that these occurrences were real and intentional.
I'm describing the New York incident. That was kind of like the Christmas party, because there was a Christmas party before then at this museum that, once again, you go into this basement of this well-known museum. I can't think of the name.
Not the Getty.
No. This old house. It's this old Victorian house. Real nice, and everybody's like real, like old school, like elite, like Titanic type thing. But underneath, where they had some different paintings, that was like I felt like a satanic vibe. So we went to that party with a friend. That was really strange. But nothing like the next day or the following day when you're like right outside. That's the thing that's so wild when you think about this stuff. These aren't in obsolete locations. This is like hiding in plain sight. Because you could look out the window and see like you could see like downtown New York, right? Like you're right off Times Square. You could see the action of the city, and that's the thing. And same thing in LA. That was bright during the day, like getting out into a grocery store. So these are very out in the open. I don't know how they exist.
Do you think Freemasons or Freemasonry is linked to any of this kind of underworld?
I just think it's the underworld. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely dark and satanic. It's definitely not godly in any stuff. It's very anti-Christ, right? Because it's anti of what Christianity is, or even anti-Jewish, what they believe in. It's very, very dark.
He further explained that a group of women was brought into the room by staff, and guests were invited to select companions for the evening. He observed that the women appeared uneasy and were reluctant to share personal information when approached. This led him to question whether the situation involved potential exploitation or coercion. While he clarified that he did not witness any criminal activity directly and could not confirm the women's circumstances, the implications were deeply troubling.
The girl that sat next to me, it was so once again so awkward. The girls who sat down next to me, I was trying to talk to her like, who are you? What are you doing? Do you have an Instagram? Like looking right. I was like, here's my Instagram. What's your name? She's like, I can't tell you. But she looked at my Instagram, and this whole time, everybody's around the table. They're sniffing, partying. Yeah. And I think a couple are getting it on. But this girl I felt so bad for her, and I was trying to talk to her like, what do you do? What's your name? Do you live around here? And she was trying to be as nice as possible. She didn't speak like great English, right? When they get her, anyways, They pull them out like an hour. The woman comes in, the girls get up and leave. And we sat there for maybe 15 more minutes, and then they escorted us out, back up through the grocery store. And during the pandemic, I was like, I thought about that, like, what was that? Where was that? And I would talk to Billy, like, what was that place? He was like, do you want to go back? We can go back. We have to schedule it. I was like, no, what was it? But then I started to think, like, that was definitely a human trafficking thing.
We can't say that word, but human transportation.
Using transportation, yeah, sorry. That's definitely what that was. They'd bring in all these girls, and then they would move them out, like, in and out, like product. I was like, holy crap. That's the only other time I've seen anything with that kind of, like New York and LA, with that kind of experience, you know?
So back up. So you're on your way to this grocery store, and
well, we're having a meeting, and Billy, like I said, his mother is Johnny Depp's sister. He's part of his management team, right? He works with the Hollywood vampires and all his groups, and he wanted to show like everybody like a good time. Once again, I can't say like all the people in the lawsuit and stuff like that because of the lawsuit. He wanted to show them a good time because we're working on this project. Right. And that's where he took us. And it was so strange. At the time, I'm just in shock. But then when I processed it and thought about it.
So, what is really happening? Why do celebrities who speak out often disappear? What becomes of them? And who is enabling these alleged secretive cults in Hollywood, allowing them to manipulate and silence people? These are pressing questions that demand answers. Ultimately, the bigger question remains: what truly goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood?